Kingsways Podcast.
Don't do what they did. If one thing about a man, if he sees that his father's a drug dealer and his father's out there and he's on crack and shit, a man's not gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna follow that same path because I want to be out there on crack, standing on the corner, lean the fuck up. No, men is like, no, I need to be better than my father. I'm like, so why don't women have that same idea? You see, your mom was a single mom. You see that your dad was not there. So the first thing you should think of is, well, if I am going to get pregnant, it's going to have to be by a dude that is married to me or at least have been in a committed long-term relationship with me. Like, because like I said, it's not about sex, it's about having babies. I'm like, because then you bring a baby into this world, the dude don't want it, but oh, I was attracted to him, and none of that mattered. You didn't care about no compatibility or nothing. You just seen a hot dude, you had sex with him, unprotected at that. Now you got a baby. Now you're raising the baby by yourself. Do you not notice that that's what happened to your mom? That's why I said it's the mom culture. I'm like, the moms are the ones not teaching the daughters. Don't do this. Don't do. No, they're telling you to do exactly the same thing they did to get the exact same results that they got. Now you're complaining and blaming men instead of saying, wait, my mom was a single mom, my grandma was single. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do what they were doing. Exactly.
Yeah, because part of the problem is, like the example you said, oh, dad's a crackhead, I'm not going to be a crackhead, right? Because he sees the negative in that. The thing with the single mom is that she spins her situation as positive. Oh, look at me, I'm strong, I'm doing this, that. Like, you know, I'm making sure y'all have clothes on your back, food in your belly, blah, blah, blah. Right? So since the daughters are benefiting from their mom being single and strong, it's like, okay, you did this, that, and the third. And of course, she might say some negative stuff about the dad, or the dad, this, that, and the third. He ain't shit. So then she's teaching her daughter literally the idea of like, yeah, guys ain't shit. You can do everything yourself, blah, 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 blah. Strong, independent, don't need no man. Because as you can see, they're only good for one thing, and it was just dick, and that's it, because they're not helping financially, they're not doing this and that third, so I have to do everything, I'm super strong. So then they see their mother as superwoman, right? They don't see her as struggling, they see her as overcoming. They see her, you know, being victorious in the face of adversity. They don't see that she's been taking L after L after L after L, and in reality, she's hiding it from you. She's giving you the illusion that she's doing good. In reality, behind your back, behind closed doors.
Sometimes she's crying.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's sad. Sometimes she's like, I shouldn't have made this mistake. I shouldn't have made that mistake.
I should have been with that other boy. He was nicer, better. He has a wife now. They're happy. Little, you know, the regret starts kicking in. She don't show you the reality.
And it's funny because I like that analogy you use. She showed you that she's Superwoman when she should have been showing you that she was more like Lois Lane. So Lois Lane was a very strong, independent type of woman, but Lois Lane knew she wanted Superman. She knew what she had to do to get Superman. Lois Lane wanted Clark. She knew what she had to do to get Clark. You know? It reminds me of the analogy they were using the other day on the Let's Talk show, where Trigger Mike said, Superman was a narcissist. That Superman's a narcissist. Clark Kent was da-da-da-da. I'm like, but that's not true because Superman doesn't think highly of himself. He's always been willing to help people. I'm like, he used Clark Kent as a narcissist. Clark Kent would be the type of person that he was always to himself. He thought he because he didn't want people to know he was Superman. So he had to act the opposite of Superman. Superman cares about everybody. So when there's danger, Clark Kent only cares about himself. He runs away. He has to leave. Oh, Clark, where are you going? Clark, why are you always running away? Clark, you know, it makes him seem like a punk. Clark never tried to play a hero. He couldn't be a hero because then people would start to notice these things. So as part of this Clark Kent persona, you know, he would sit there, you know, and he would be humble and everything. But then there were time periods where he would be like, yeah, well, you know, da-da-da-da. And you look at him like, you okay, Clark? I'm like, yeah, but Clark Kent always looked out for himself. He always made himself number one. And that's why I said I hate people who pretend like they used to read comic books. Like, you've never read a comic book. Please stop using that example when you've never really read a comic book. Superman's the most selfless person there is. Like, that man. Anyway, so you know, I say that because we see these examples, we see these things, and we see the positives and the negatives, and we pick what we want from that, but we use that to shape who we want to be and go forward with that. Like you said, the mothers are teaching their daughters, this is what you pick from. Everything that I'm giving you is what you're going to get to pick from. So you see me as Superwoman, so you're going to pick all my Superwoman traits. But then you get there, you're sitting in that bed, there's a baby crying, the dude was not there, and guess what? You realize, I wonder did my mom go through this? And your mom tells you, yeah, that's part of being a single mom. Wait, but you didn't tell me that part growing up. You didn't tell me there will be times where I'll be sitting here on this bed crying because there's nobody to help me. You told me that I will be strong and I will overcome. Why do I feel like this? Oh, you're a woman, you'll get over it. But then you look at it like, no, you tricked me into this. And that's why, you know, I don't like the idea of, oh, well, you know, you got to keep harking on women. Like, no, you hold them accountable, and that's it. You move on. Because guess what? Life is going to bite them in the ass anyway. You hold them accountable. Hey, listen, you made a mistake, but you also let them know, please do not pass that down to your daughter. You have girls, don't pass that down to them. Do not teach them that, because you know what it's like to sit in that bed and cry. And even though your mama didn't teach you, you don't have to not relay that information to those girls. And that's basically what I was trying to tell her. Like, you know, like, no, y'all need to, because she was like, well, teaching a class, you know, that doesn't mean women are going to come. I was like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying, you know, become a teacher and everything. I was like, they got women to do that already. What I'm saying is your friends, this information, because you might have a friend right now that is a single mom, and she told us she did. She got friends that are single moms, like, but, and some of them are single moms to boys. Like, well, you might have some friends that are single moms to girls. You know, tell them, hey, listen, you know, as a friend, like, you know, what are you teaching your daughter? You know, pass this information on to her. Even if she's reluctant to that information, still know that you did your part. I'm like, the thing is, y'all don't like to do your part. Y'all like to, oh, you go, girl, I support that. You want that boy dressed up like he's wearing pink and everything, I support that. You want that girl to be strong and independent, I support that. It's like, it's one thing to be self-sufficient, but teaching her, oh, you don't need no man, da, 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 da. If you have kids, you don't have to do it by yourself. No, you don't have to do it by yourself. What you do is you pick a man that you know is going to commit first. Believe me, if he's committed to you in a marriage, he's going to stay for the kids. Like, but how do you know that? Well, your mom doesn't know that. She didn't get married first. She hoped he would stay off of a whim. But if she required him to marry her, he might have walked away and you wouldn't be born. But at least she would know, right? So, put it like this. Is it worth to make the same mistake? Or is it worth it to try something different and break the cycle? Break the cycle. Just require marriage. That's it. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to tell you to do with your own body, your choice. Mm-hmm. So, with your body, you should be able to say, you know what? Before I push a human being out, like, which I say is something I totally respect. I've seen it, I don't want to do it. I don't know any man that wants to do it. I don't want to push another person out of me. That looks painful. So that being said, I respect you for that. So before you go through that for somebody else, remember, it's his seed. So before you go through that for him, he has to at least be committed to you. You have to require that at least. Be like, listen, we can have fun, we can talk and everything, but before I push another human out of me, you gotta at least guarantee be my husband so I can get some off that life insurance or something. Oh, you only want to be with me for my money. Oh, you want me to push a person out of me? Yes.
For free?
For free? Like,
The situations that produce the baby, that produce the situations where the abortions, you know, would be of need or be a thing. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, we're not saying no one to have sex. What we're just saying is like,
yeah.
don't be, I'm gonna say, irresponsible.
and reckless.
That's the thing. Yeah, reckless. That's the right word. Reckless. It's like that's the thing. Y'all being reckless. Y'all. I hear.
Reckless with they see,
Yeah.
reckless with they move.
Like.
I'm out here being reckless. Like,
Yes.
I'm being reckless. What
You
is
know,
what is this?
we're grown adults. Yes, sex is awesome, but it's also a responsibility.
Yes.
Like
A big responsibility.
Like, in the animal kingdom, they understand the basic idea is like sex is to make babies.
Yeah.
It's not for recreation. Can you know, do they do it for fun sometimes? Probably, but more often than not, it is for reproduction. It's a biological function that keeps the DNA in the species alive. And we are higher intellectual beings, so I expect us to act like superior beings instead of acting like animals, just fucking randomly.
Yeah.
We should be selective. We should be specific, direct. We need to be selecting and making sure everything needs to be planned. Like there was a time where people used to complain about like, oh my god, you know, the baby, it was an accident. It was, you know, it wasn't planned, and it's like, yeah, and that's not cool. But this was before like condoms and stuff like that was a thing. But once we start creating condoms, then it's like, okay, now you no longer have the whole, oh, it was an accident. He didn't pull out in time or whatnot. You don't have the excuse to like, oh, it was the pre-cum that got me pregnant. Like, no, we got condoms now. So even if there was pre-cum, the condom would catch it.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for like, it was, you know, it was a surprise or whatnot. And then on top of that, there was the fact of marriage and whatnot to also reduce the possibility of pregnancy because unless he puts a ring on it, he can't put a baby in it. So that was a factor. But now all that's just being thrown out the window. It's like, all right, do whatever you want to whoever you want, and we'll worry about the consequences later. It's like, no, we're an intellectual species. We should be able to consider the consequences ahead of time and then be preemptive and avoid the consequences. If you know there's a cliff up ahead a mile away, you don't just keep driving until you fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
You might turn around and go a different direction, right? Because the thing is, we know the outcome of sex, pregnancy, STDs, right? Like we, you know, and then there's other factors. There's just the social stigma, and then there's the emotional issues that might arise. You know, you might regret, you know, being intimate with a certain person. And that's the thing, you can't undo these things. Once you do it, you did it. You can't undo it. So that's the thing. Every action has an opposite equal reaction. So every decision you make has consequences. The thing is, consider the consequences. Can you live with it? Most people can't live with the consequences of their actions. More reason why y'all should stop making reckless, mindless actions. Think before you do.
Basically, that's not a lot to ask for. It's not a lot to ask for. It's not a lot to ask for you to be considerate with your womb because it's your body. We're not telling you that you can't do whatever you want with your body. What we're saying is be considerate of it because we know that pregnancy is a serious thing. We know with men, you know, men saying that, oh man, but what if I want the kid? She didn't want the kid. Well, did you know that before you decided to get her pregnant? But what if she agreed that we would have the kid? It's like, okay, that's different. Now that you know she's going to go back on her word, you can leave her. Because you already know you can't trust her. Now, for the other way around, it's, well, what if we both agreed that we didn't want the kid? But now she wants it. Well, it's her body, right? Yeah. So why didn't you consider protecting yourself? Remember, it's your body too. It's your body, your choice. It's your choice to not have sex with her raw. If she says she doesn't like it, tell her, I'm just doing it to protect myself because I don't want kids. If she then says, oh, well, don't worry about it, you know, if I get pregnant, we could always just, you know, go get an abortion. It's like, no, I don't trust that. We're not married or anything, so, like, I don't have a reason to trust that. I can always wear condoms. Oh, but I don't like it. Okay, are you willing to take Plan Bs? Yeah. Then that's something different. You stand there and watch her take a Plan B. But remember, you are responsible for your seed. And that's why people, when people make that argument, it's like, oh, but what if she agreed not to have one? But you're responsible for your own protection. You're not supposed to leave something like that up to nobody because you don't know anybody's intentions. It's my body, my choice. Not my body, but if I implant you with a seed, you're going to listen to me, right? No, that's not how that works. Like I said, if it was the reverse, that's different. I can understand. You also have to understand, and you can leave her. Like, okay, well, you're not a good woman anyway. We agreed we would have this. We agreed that we would have this baby, but you want to terminate it. That's something you're going to be doing by yourself then, and then you leave. That's it, because she's not going to be a woman of her word. You don't have to stand there and suffer through that. She wants to not be a mom. She shouldn't have to suffer through that. She will go through that alone then. That's just that. Those are the consequences of her action. You do not have to live with the consequences of her actions. You do, however, have to be responsible. If you want the baby, she wants the baby, then take it upon yourself to be a great father and marry that woman. Or at least commit to that woman.
It's the basic thing that we say is about responsibility, because we as a society can make rules and we can literally create things like condoms and whatnot and Plan B and abortion, and we can come up with different ways to deal with a situation. But the thing is that a lot of situations are simpler and easier and can be handled at at the lowest level. It doesn't have to be at the highest level. We don't need the government to fix the baby issue, like, people getting pregnant. We as individuals supposed to have autonomy. The government is supposed to provide us the subsidies, basically, supposed to give us support, but we're supposed to have autonomy, which means, again, your body, your choice, your responsibility, your fault. So, as an individual, as an autonomous person, you are responsible for how you interact with the world, how you interact with other human beings, how you behave in society. There's a reason we have laws and rules and stuff like that. So that way everybody knows how to behave, how to live. That way no one has to guess and be like, okay, what can I and cannot not do? You know what you can and can't do because we already figured it out a long time ago. The humans of the past and the humans now are not that different. We're not that different. Like, when it comes to the fundamental basic stuff like sex, well, you don't think they were doing Guac Guac 3000 in the past? They were. They were the ones who invented it. All we're doing is just keeping the legacy going. We're just pushing it forward into the next generation. So, like, it's just funny to think that hundreds and millions of years of human evolution, we still have people out here like, accidentally making babies, which makes no sense when we have so many ways to make sure it doesn't accidentally happen. We have ways to make sure that it does happen by choice, not by nature, luck, destiny, or all this other random bullshit that people like to do.
Accident.
Yeah, like saying it's an accident. Like, how do you accidentally slip and fall into your vagina? And you're a one pump chump, so that's why you automatically got her pregnant? So I doubt it. Probably took you 30 strokes before you got her pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like. And the thing is, there's so many options. That's the thing. So many options. So many things that could have happened way before the event, the possibility of impregnating somebody, the possibility of transmitting disease and stuff like that. Things don't, especially when it comes to human interactions, things don't just happen randomly. If somebody steals from you, it's deliberate. It's very rare for somebody to steal from you randomly. Like, man, I've been alive for 50 years. I never stole a thing from a person. But for some strange reason, this one time I stole something from somebody. Make that make sense. It's like, no. If somebody stole from you, they more likely stole from many other people before. So it's not an accident.
You're doing not necessarily what's in your nature. You're doing what has been passed down to you through TV, media, and all that. You're seeking someone who's not just the most visually appealing, but also gives you that feeling of invigorates you, basically. It invigorates the young energy, but you know you're not like creepy with it. You're not creepy pedophilish with it. So you know, oh no, she's got to be at least 20 something, you know. Because y'all won't even say 18. Some of y'all know y'all take 18, but y'all won't say 18. Because you're not really trying to be creepy. But at the same time, y'all don't do the practices that come with that, as in the practice of you pick the girl, you pick her brain and everything, and you start teaching her things, you know, because the whole idea of being able to influence her is you're supposed to influence her. You're not trying to influence them. You know, you just want them to be them. Oh, be wild, glad, da 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 da. And then you turn around like, okay, I got some, I'm leaving. And it's like, but I thought the whole point of this was they're easier to be wives. And then when you find out the stat that only 3% of marriages have large age gaps, it's like, why are y'all out here preaching this and y'all not even doing it? Yeah. You know, it's just like the whole.
But if we were to check the age gap of single mothers,
yeah,
it's probably going to be a big percentage.
Yeah,
like, so y'all were just trying to hit it and quit it, but
yeah.
A baby was created. Y'all still quit, but now there's a child.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up. And that type of dynamic. Where there's yeah.
So it's just, like I said, it's you know, I guess it's the theme of the day. It's really just all about the culture and the culture that you promote, the culture you produce. But I don't know if I sent you this video, or I think my sister sent me this video of the dude. No, he's American. The woman he wanted was Moroccan.
Okay.
And what was so interesting about it was that he didn't like the whole being a provider.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like the idea of being a provider. Yeah, this was the video. I'll send it to you. Yeah, he just didn't like the idea. And I told her, because, you know, we were talking about passport bros and all that, and I told her about the idea that a lot of passport bros are not getting the tools they need to pull off the fantasy that they're being sold. You know, I saw these dudes saying in the comments, "Hey, bros, just go get your passports." It's like, but you're here. You didn't get your passport. Why are you still here in this comment section? Why are you looking at these videos? Why are you promoting something you're not doing? You know, one thing that I always said is leading by example is the best way. But it's just seemed like we've built a culture where someone can just say something and everyone just wants to follow it. They don't actually have to be living it. And then when it goes wrong, they can be like, see, that's why I didn't do it. And then you're like, but wait, you're the one that told everybody. You know, that's why a lot of women were mad at Sierra for, oh, why is she preaching being a single woman and she's a wife? It's like, yeah, I kind of get that. Yeah, you're putting out these songs that, things you don't believe in, you know. Why we hold everyone accountable, not just the women, but we hold everyone accountable. Oh, if this is what you're promoting and you're not doing it, just say that. Just be like, listen, this is what you need to do. I'm not doing this, but this is what you need to do. But a lot of people will promote to you like, no, this is what I do. And then when you find out they're not doing it, and it's like, if you're not doing that, why are you promoting it? You know, it's like, don't promote crack if you don't do crack. Crack is not a good thing. Now, if you're a guy that gets a lot of girls and you promote, yeah, man, you got to sleep around with a lot of women. It's like, okay, what is the purpose of doing that? Because what has it gotten you? What has it done for you? And then he tells you, man, you have a variety of women. It's like, okay, So then you have to look at it like, is that the goal? Do I really just want a variety of women? Okay, then I can see you following that person. But then you also got to ask yourself, what if the person you're following is married? So you have someone that's telling you, go sleep around with a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of women. A man that's telling you, go sleep around with a whole bunch of women, but he's married. Okay, sir, are you telling me this because that's the quickest way to get married? No. Actually, I got married very young. So why are you telling me about sleeping with a whole bunch of women when you haven't done that? Well, just let you know that's the best way to get a whole bunch of women. But how do you know that? You got married at 18. You didn't sleep with a whole bunch of women, unless you're secretly telling us that you've been messing around with your wife. No, I'm a faithful man. So what are you telling us? Why should I take that kind of advice from you when I can go find a single guy who's very good with ladies and get that kind of advice from him and see what happens? What would you know? So, it's like, but a lot of people, they'll do that. They'll let somebody who's been with one woman his whole life tell you how to sleep with a whole bunch of women. I know I sleep with a whole bunch of women. How? Well, I've done the math. You've done math? Yeah. This woman plus that woman equals 3 women. Wow. What are the quality of women you were sleeping with? What do you mean? I've only had one woman all my life. Yeah. So how are you going to tell me one woman plus one woman equals 3 women? I did the math. I did the research. Yeah, but how do you actually apply it? Have you seen somebody apply this? Because if you did, I want to go talk to them. Talking to you does nothing. And that's it. For me, yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to make the conscious effort to listen to the people that have at least had some experience, or at least have some experience with someone who's had that experience, and that's what they're taking you from.
Mm-hmm.
But if they've had very little to no experience, or don't have friends that do it, it's like you're just spitballing. You're just spitballing. You're just throwing things out there till something hits the wall.